definitely a worthwhile investment. I will not be attending that show again next year, but feel like I did waste some of my time. I was hoping that would be a lot more this year. Hello and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Morgan and I have my own art small business called Morgan's Creations. This video is going to be a 2025 craft show season recap. I'm making a separate video to talk about my craft show season experience. So much happened this year that it deserves its own video. So first, I'm going to talk about just my general experiences this year. For some context, my best-selling products are Christmas related, like Christmas decorations, and because of that, I only do craft shows during the holiday season. So for the entirety of 2025, I only had craft shows during November and December. That's where I find the most success, so I only do craft shows during Christmas time. Coming off of my 2024 craft show season, I was almost completely sold out of my best-selling products, which are my hand-painted wood ornaments. So I knew I was going to need a lot, so I started my prep work in July. So I spent about a good 3 to 4 months working on my products and restocking everything to prepare for my craft show season that started in November. I did vlog every single craft show this year, so if you want more details, go and check out those craft show vlogs. I'll leave a link in the description and at the end of this video. First craft show was on November 9th. So not only was it my first show of the year, it was also my worst show of the year and probably my worst show ever. There were a lot of contributing factors to that. The show was on a Sunday, there was a paid $5 entry fee, the weather was pretty cold and snowy that day, the gym area where I was at was pretty cold, the conditions were pretty uncomfortable for everybody, the show was 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. Because of all of those things, the show ended up being really slow. There was a really low turnout, but it did have good reviews on Facebook. There were a lot of people interested in going. I figured I would just give it a shot. Also, this was the most expensive booth fee I ever paid. It was about $77 after taxes. This was my first time vending at this show. I've never done it before. I always try to do at least one new craft show every year to try them out. I ended up not making my booth fee back. Usually I only pay between 30 and 45, so going to 77, I don't know what I was thinking. I thought I could make it back. Yeah, so my first show did not go very well. My second show was on November 15th. I'm a returning vendor at that show. I think this year was my third year doing it, maybe fourth, and I've always done really well. This is always my biggest and best show of the year, so I went into it with high expectations and luckily those expectations were met. I had a lot of new customers, a lot of repeat customers. My booth is always the same every year. It's on a corner and it's right in front of the gym doors, which is like the main vending area. So I always get a really great booth spot. I'm super grateful for that. The show was 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. and it was pretty busy throughout the entire show. So there was steady foot traffic. I knew I would do well at this show and I did, and I was profitable at this craft show. It was my best show this season. My next craft show after that was supposed to be my third show. This one was supposed to be on November 29th, but this show ended up getting canceled because of some snowstorms in the Midwest. We were having really bad weather. It was icy and snowy. I was really looking forward to this show. It was at a library. It would have been my first time vending at this library. I'm gonna try again to go next year. My last final craft show of the year was Friday, December 5th. I'm also a returning vendor at this event. This was my fourth year vending at this show. It was at a church. It was from 5:30 p.m. to 8:30 p.m. This was their most attended craft show. Again, I had a lot of new and repeat returning customers. Every single year they give every vendor a different spot, and I got lucky this year with a corner booth in front of one of the set of doors. So this was definitely my most profitable year at this event. I do want to talk about some of my best sellers. I typed out a few things, so I'll be looking down and referencing that. My hand-painted wood ornaments were my best selling. I sold a total of 71 between 3 of the craft shows. Compared to last year in 2024, I sold 85. So I did sell less this year. I think this proves that these are still really popular items, and even though I sold a little bit less this year, I'm still selling around the same amount every single year, so I have a good idea of how much inventory I need to make going forward. Something else that did really well were my hand-painted watercolor bookmarks. While I'm editing, I will put up on the screen how many I sold at the craft shows. I forgot to include that in my notes, but I did sell a lot more than I expected to. They are my second best selling product. I only have 3 left at the moment. Between all of my craft shows this year, I sold at least one of every type of product that I sell. As for some of my successes, some things that worked really well this year were my signs and my displays. I printed out some new signs for this year. I got new whiteboard signs, some new frames to try out. I think the clean, minimalistic, simple look of my booth made it really easy for people to shop. This year I had these new red tablecloths and they look so beautiful. I also added some LEDs and some garland. I didn't want my Christmas decorations to be too overpowering and take away from my items, so I think I found some simple enough decorations. What's interesting this year is that I had 6 card payments. I'll see if I can find how much I did last year, but this year I definitely had a decent number of people use their card. I'm definitely going to continue to use my Square card reader next year. Even though I do have to pay a fee for it, I'm going to continue to use it every year. It's really good to have multiple forms of payment. Something new I did this year was build a pegboard display for my ornaments, especially because I had a lot more wood ornaments this year. I needed a bigger display to hold more, so I designed this pegboard display. My dad helped me put it together and I think it looks amazing. It turned out really well. It was really easy for people to look at because it's pretty much at eye level. I feel like it made the shopping experience a lot better for people. It was definitely a worthwhile investment for my booth. The whole thing only cost about $25. Now let's get into some of my fails and some of my regrets. My biggest regret is that show where I wasn't profitable. The Sunday show where the booth fee was $77. That is definitely my biggest regret. I will not be attending that show again next year. So this kind of brings me to my next topic, which are my lessons learned for next year. I'm only going to be restocking things as needed, just so I don't have too much inventory, because that also does take up storage space, so I also have to be mindful of that. I definitely made too much inventory for this year. Now, some of those unexpected things that came up, like a canceled show and a show going really slow, those things are kind of out of my control. I do have to plan for 4 craft shows. I have to plan and assume that these shows are going to be really busy, and I also sell items online, so I kind of do have to make more inventory than what I need, but at the same time I feel like I did make way too much this year. Can't help but feel like I did waste some of my time. The canceled craft show really didn't help with that, because then I lost another opportunity to sell. I don't have to make as much new inventory next year. The majority of the work is already done, and going forward I'm not going to do any more shows on a Sunday. I'm probably not going to do any school shows. I think I just need to do some better research when it comes to picking craft shows. I'm probably not going to do any events with a paid entry fee either. I think the most now I will spend on a booth fee is $50. Now to end off the video, I'm going to talk about my sales. So I typed everything out. My gross income for my craft shows for 2025 this year was $599. For my first show this year, my gross sales was $25. My net profit was actually negative $52.62 because I did not make back my booth fee. I had a total of 2 orders and I sold 8 items. That just means that some people buy multiple items. For my second show this year, my gross sales was $339. My net profit was $290 from that. I had a total of 21 orders, but I sold 59 items. So I did do better last year, but this year it wasn't too far off. For my third and final show this year, my gross sales was $235. My net profit was $233.05. I had 20 orders and I sold 38 items. I actually did a lot better this year. Yeah, I made about $100 more this year, which is really good. So again, my gross income was $599 and my net profit that I took home was $470.43. I was hoping that would be a lot more this year. I'll still take it, all things considered. Just to do a side-by-side comparison to 2024. So for 2024, my gross income was $586. My net profit from last year ended up being $475.98. I think that's really interesting, again, because this year I had a show get canceled and I wasn't profitable. So to have almost the same net profit between last year and this year really blew my mind. So despite everything that happened, I pretty much made the exact same amount as I did last year. Yeah, so many ups and downs, so many unexpected things happened. I thought it really deserved its own video to talk about. I find it very interesting every year to find the trends and see what does well and see what doesn't, and it does help me going forward into next year so that I can plan properly, so that next year will be even better. I'm gonna post a video recapping all of my stuff from last year, so including my commissions, my online shop sales and just recapping everything from my business from 2025, so be on the lookout for that video. In the comments, let me know your thoughts on my craft show recap. If you're a small business owner, let me know if we had any shared experiences this year, or just let me know how your craft show season went for 2025. But in general, just let me know your thoughts on my video. If you have any tips or questions for me, you can leave them in the comments. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you liked it, please leave a like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!